Welcome to the Paying Off Student Loan mini-series that I'm making just for you. This mini-series is based around me letting you know kind of observations, lessons I've learned while I was paying off my $82,000 in debt. $70,000 of it was student loans. My name is Jarrad from Debt Free Blueprint, and let's get into this week's video, which this week's video is setting a good example when it comes to paying off your student loans. Who is someone that has set a good example for you in life? Can you think of anybody? Maybe someone who you just saw do something pretty cool, or who taught you how to do something pretty cool, and you tried it and you were like, oh, this is awesome. They set a good example for you. And I think that's what paying off student loans is as well. This is how we change future generations. The people around you, friends, kids, their kids, relatives, brothers, sisters, cousins, anybody we interact with in this world, by paying off your student loans, you're setting the bar. You're showing them that it's possible. And if you think about why you and I are probably why you are and I was in the position of having all of this debt, specifically student loans, is that we weren't taught properly how to manage our money, or even really taught about the effects of having all this student loan debt. And I don't know how you kind of grew up, but I grew up with my mom raising 4 kids on her own and trying to support all of us. So I didn't really get money management skills specifically taught to me as I got older. Now, when I was younger, we grew up very, very, very poor. So I learned how important money is and how finite money is. And I learned really that you can't buy everything that you want. That's one thing that I learned because my mom set that good example for me. And when you're paying off your student loans, you're setting a good example for all of those people around you. Whether it's having to do with thinking twice about how much student loans you're taking out, whether it's setting a good example to show them, hey, you can pay off your student loans. And you could even think about the interaction of you and I. I don't specifically know you in person really, right? But I'm assuming because you're watching this, and I hope that I've set a good example for you by showing you that it's possible to pay off your student loans just like I did. And I hope that I'm teaching you that. So our interaction right here is me showing you and setting a good example for you. You could do the same thing for everyone else around you as you work towards paying off your student loan debt in the process and even after. I know that I've helped a lot of people through these videos that I put out and paying off my student loans, and they look at you like you're crazy, but you can tell that something clicks in their mind and they're like, darn, I need to do this. So it's pretty cool in that regards. And you won't necessarily be able to set a good example for everyone. I think of the old emperor. I don't know if you know this story, Marcus Aurelius. If you've seen that movie Gladiator, he was the older guy, the older emperor in that movie. His son was Commodus, and his son was the bad guy in that movie, and he was not a good person, right? But he took over as emperor once Marcus Aurelius passed away. And Marcus Aurelius is known as being one of the 5 last good emperors of Rome. And once his son Commodus took over, it was like he didn't even take on any of the positive traits of his father, the things that his father might have taught him. So it doesn't necessarily mean that even though you're going through this process that people are going to accept what you're doing as a good example, but the people that do, you're going to appreciate the fact that you actually started paying off your student loans and setting that good example for people like that. People that are willing and they want to learn how to do this and know that it's just possible to pay off your student loans. So remember that you're indirectly helping the people even when you're not around, because maybe you've set a good example for them, and when you're not around, it kind of pops in the back of their mind like, hey, so-and-so did this, maybe I should make a couple extra payments towards my student loans, maybe I should go get a second job, maybe I should make some extra money, maybe I shouldn't buy that so I can put some extra money towards my student loans because you, whatever your name is, I don't know what it is, I'm sorry, because I saw so-and-so doing it, so I think I can do it. So you're setting a good example for so many people, more people than you realize, by paying off your student loans. Because it's not just about you, it's about breaking the pattern of future generations. That's how we change the future for the better and get them to realize, hey, you need to pay off your student loans. You need to get these things out of here. You shouldn't take out as much. So it's our responsibility, mine and yours, to teach these people just like we weren't necessarily taught. It's very important. That's how we change the future. That's how we make the future better than it is right now. So get out there, start paying off your student loans, start setting a good example for the other people around you. Whether you know it's setting a good example for them or not, whether they want to accept it, it doesn't matter. Work towards paying off those student loans. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below, hit that like button. Also pick up your free copy of the Debt-Free Prep Workbook if you want. Links in the description. I've got all kinds of other resources for you that I'll leave down in the description as well. Out here at the park with my dog. Not running this morning because we've got a race. Whenever you're watching this, it might have already happened. A Spartan race, that is. If you follow me on social media, then you'll know that. All right, I'll talk to you later, folks. Love you. Adios.